How an employer responds to a flexible work request can have lasting legal and cultural consequences for an organization. Following Fair Work changes to the legislation in June 2023, employers who refuse a flexible work request face the possibility of a dispute being taken to Fair Work. Apart from the compliance issue, employers are having to consider the fact that there's now this underlying expectation in the workforce that there will be a degree of flexibility, and employees are increasingly making choices as to where they're going to work based on whether that employer will afford them flexibility, irrespective of whether they have that eligibility under the Fair Work Act. Since the updated rules around flexible work requests were implemented, the Fair Work Commission has dealt with a number of disputes over the legislation, which have shed light on what the Commission deems best practice for handling these requests. Firstly, is there a legal obligation to consider and respond to the request? No matter who submits a flexible work request, it's always best practice to consider and respond thoughtfully to ensure the employee feels heard and understands the decision that's made. Employers must consider and respond reasonably to flexible work requests from employees who are over 55, living with a disability, are pregnant, has a caring responsibility for infants or school-aged children, or is a designated carer under the Act, or finally, is experiencing family and domestic violence, or caring for someone who is. An employer has 21 days to respond to a flexible work request. But my suggestion is that employers have those meetings as soon as possible, because there might need to be further discussions. Second, can the role be effectively performed under the proposed arrangement? Employers who refuse flexible work requests from the cohorts we identified must provide reasonable business grounds for doing so. Naturally, flexible work requests are easier for some employers to accommodate than others, and employers managing frontline workers are far more likely to have reasonable grounds to refuse a request. However, in other roles and sectors, what constitutes a reasonable refusal is often not clear-cut. Thirdly, would approving this request create an unreasonable burden on the business? Demonstrating reasonable business grounds to refuse a flexible work request often involves laying out the financial and, if relevant, the operational impact of the proposed arrangement on the business. And finally, has the employee been properly consulted during decision-making? When responding to a flexible work request, best practice is to consult with the employee in question and, if their request cannot be accommodated, try to find a satisfactory middle ground. A thorough consultation process will minimize the risk if the matter proceeds to court, and will also help employers understand the employee's unique needs and challenges. Well, thank you for listening. If you have any questions on this topic or any other HR issue you would like to discuss, don't hesitate in reaching out. We also provide a free HR health check which covers compliance to the Fair Work Act, so contracts, HR policies and processes, etc. So let us know if we can assist in looking over these documents or processes as well. Thank you again and see you next time.